Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Issue podcast. On today's episode, we had an incident with Josh. He's stuck in the negative zone. I told him not to be messed around with Marvel's jewelry, but he did not. He didn't listen. So instead, we have a special guest today from Unsocial Spectators. This is Clay's other podcast that I didn't approve of. Mr. Mark Ramsey.
Hey
Welcome,
now.
Mark. So on today's episode, we will be talking about our best year, or the best year, what we think is the best year in movies.
Right.
So we'll get into that once we get to the main episode. But before we do all that, we love to see what we've been up to. So on our previously on segment, we're gonna catch up and just talk about some of the things we've been watching this week, reading, enjoying, and stuff, because we want you guys to have a lot of content options. So I'm gonna be a good host, and I'm gonna let Mark. You want to go first and tell us a few things that you've been watching and doing?
Yeah, sure. So I went to the theater and saw Thor,
Oh,
Oh,
Love and
cool.
Thunder.
I have not seen it, so spoiler free, please.
Okay. It's a movie about Thor.
And was it good or bad?
It was okay, in my opinion. It was not as good as Ragnarok, which I think is the best Thor movie, but it was trying to be kind of too funny, kind of. The jokes were okay, and yeah, I mean, I had a good time, but you don't have to go to the theater, I don't think, for this one, but
I won't.
yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a little bit last week because I also went to watch it last week, and I had a good time. But I agree, it's definitely when I was going through my rankings, it's not as good as Ragnarok.
No.
And I think depending on how much Taika humor you like that'll your mileage may vary on the movie because this one is way more Taika funny than the previous one. So if that doesn't always click with you, then I can see why people are not having a good time. Um,
No, I had a good time, but it would be more. I went by myself. It'd
Yeah.
be more fun to go see with friends, definitely. You
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
but I like to go. I go to the movie only. I went at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning.
To
Uh,
avoid those people.
Nobody was there, so and
yeah,
that's where
same.
I like to go.
Yeah, I went the first screening they had just to try to avoid the crowds. Although when I tried that with Top Gun or no with Jurassic World Dominion, it was packed. Like everyone was there. I don't know why, and it was the first screening of the day. Which is weird because that movie's out on demand now, so like people can watch it at home. So
Yeah.
I guess that they're like, this is not gonna make any more money at the theater.
They're just ringing it out for all they can get.
Yeah,
And
they're
then
like,
go to
we
video
didn't
on
make,
demand and
they're like, we didn't
then
make a Top
streaming.
Gun, so
It must be good. Both of y'all have hyped that movie that I kind of want to see it.
Top
Uh,
Gun,
yeah. Y'all both loved it.
I
it's quite
haven't seen.
enjoyable.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you were talking about Jennifer Connelly last week, and that's why I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, he did see Top Gun." Oh no,
No.
no,
I watched Some Girls with
that's it.
Jennifer Connelly. I
That,
I love Jennifer Connelly, so
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
made
great.
her movie debut in 1984.
yeah.
Keep that in mind, viewers. All right, what else, Mark?
So I finished Miss Marvel.
Me too.
Okay,
Great.
we can get into that because I know
Yeah.
we all three of us have watched it, so we will have brief spoilers for Miss Marvel. Maybe I'm sure we're
Yeah,
gonna talk about the end stuff, but so go get some coffee or something for a few minutes. We won't stay on this too long. But Mark, what did you think of the show?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. Lots of good ideas. The music was good.
Yeah, it was.
I really enjoyed. The pacing was good as well. You don't feel like there was a lot of slow parts. So yeah, a real fun show. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I like how her costume kind of came together from different pieces. I like just kind of the background because I don't really know many Middle Eastern families, so I don't know, like all the different wording and stuff that they would say, like just within their little social circles, and just it was very much like a Spider-Man type origin. It was a kid trying to figure out her life and figure out shit while other stuff is going on, and then gets these superpowers, that she's
Yeah.
wanted so bad. That's the one aspect of all the other like superhero origins is like most of them aren't wishing for superpowers, but they end up with them. She's wishing for them,
Sure.
and she gets them, and she can't control them. So,
Yeah.
and then they add in the clandestine from the Marvel books, which is a deep Alan Davis cut. Like it was neat to see the clandestine buildings because they look like Alan Davis drew them. He does lots of curves. He does really cool aliens and stuff. But it seems to me like the clandestine have like everything they do has like a curvature to it, and everything she creates has a hard edge to it. So it seems like the more she can define her power, maybe she can get to that look of the clandestine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I also I enjoyed that she wasn't like a rail thin superhero, She was just a normal looking girl as well,
Yeah, she's just a kid.
Yeah.
I too love the music. It was weird because like both Moon Knight and this show has had music from other countries that I don't understand, but the music is good. The music vibes. I'm trying to think of my favorite supporting character in that series, but like everyone's pretty good.
I
So it's
think
hard
it
to nail that
was
one.
it's his name Red Dagger, I think. The kid with the
Yeah.
with the that he's
That
covered
showed
up. I
up at
think I
the
like
end.
him a lot. Of course, my boy Bruno.
Both of the parents were really good too,
Yes.
Yeah, they were really good.
I will say I was reading volume 1 of Ms. Marvel because I haven't revisited that series in a while. I think the dad is a lot less strict in the series. He's a little more chill. Actually, very very more, but like a lot more chill. And I think they also expanded the relationship with the mom. I don't know if that gets expanded more in later volumes. But I really like everything that Kamala and her mom's relationship, and even my favorite episode is the one with grandma in it when they go to Karachi.
Yeah.
First of all, because Karachi looked great, even though they didn't film in the actual city. I think they went to Thailand or something, and they recreated like a whole entire.
Wow.
It's political stuff probably. And yeah, so that was really cool. Like that was one of my favorite episodes. I think episode 5 might have been my favorite just because of all the going back to see like the historical aspect of it woven in. So like very just very low key, right? They're not really like throwing it in your face, but this is what's happening to these people. And then learning, I should have known from the beginning that she was gonna be like the reason the thing happened was because she was there. Like I didn't expect that twist. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I love
But
it.
it seems like her adversary did the same thing. So like when she died, she seemed to cast a spell that to her son that may somehow bring her back later. It seemed like the same kind of spell that the original bracelet person had, her grandmother.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
or her great grandmother, was it?
A great grandmother, yeah, because Nani's still alive.
Yeah.
So but that was really cool. And I just kind of love how their relationship with her parents gets better the more open she's with them, because not a lot of superheroes actually reveal, like so many people know that she's Ms. Marvel, right? And each one of her family members, it's almost like each one of them gives her a piece of her being Ms. Marvel, right? Her mom makes the final outfit that we see at the last episode. Her dad helps her come up with a name when they're talking on the roof. Like,
Her friend gives
her
her the mask.
grandmother, and her grandmother gave her the bracelet that unlocked her powers. So like, it's really a family affair, which we don't normally see, because normally, like with Spider-Man, it's all about hiding who you are from your family to protect them.
Right.
But in Ms. Marvel, it's kind of the opposite. Like, the more people that are with you.
I mean, the whole Spider-Man, the last movie, was about protecting, and then he lost Aunt May and his friends, and has to isolate himself. So he had to go through the loss to realize what being public means.
Yeah.
So I saw a movie called Ready or Not. Have you guys seen that? It's a horror film
with Samara Weaving.
Pretty hilarious and pretty fun,
It's great. It's great. So Clay, the premise is that there's a couple that's being married, and then her family has a tradition where they play a game. And in this case, she draws like hide and seek, but then it turns really violent, like where they're actually hunting her.
Oh, really?
So,
it's
really cool stuff.
It's really a lot of fun, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love Samara Weaving. She does great movies.
Hey.
We're just catching up on previous. Josh must have sent him from the negative zone.
Yeah, definitely.
We're one person short of a Tech Tards reunion.
Yeah, this is true. So I also saw for the first time the original Assault on Precinct 13. Great film. Great film. Yeah.
I love that. And the remake is so bad. I hate that the remake sucks, but I love the original.
I like the remake. Actually, I've only seen the remake, and I like it. So
yeah, the remake is not as good, definitely. But I enjoyed it. I saw a couple of John Carpenter's this week. I also saw Prince of Darkness for the first time.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Really good film, yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the lesser-known John Carpenter's. I think he gets more claim to fame for Halloween and The Thing and
he has
Halloweens.
He has a liquid Satan in that film, which is kind of interesting, and Alice Cooper's in it too.
Yeah, Alice Cooper did quite a bit of horror films back in the day.
If anyone local is interested, the Alamo Draft Houses in Dallas, they're doing screenings in August of the Prince of Darkness. That's crazy. I just typed it in because I was gonna pull up the poster, and I might go check that out because there's one by the one in my house. So
yeah, it's a real fun.
Yeah, I've seen it in the theater and I've seen it at home. I own it. It's one of my favorites. I love the soundtrack to it. I own that on vinyl. I could just hear that. Dun, 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 dun,
Did John Carpenter also do that soundtrack?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Makes sense why it's a banger. But yeah, here it is, Prince of Darkness.
Great poster.
It's pretty sick. Like, I don't know what's going on, but it looks pretty sick. So I might go check that out. Cool. All right. You got anything else, Mark? Or we can move on, but feel free to jump in.
Well, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty much it.
All right. I'll go next. I don't normally go next, but I do have a few things that I want to mention.
Yeah.
So first of all, I did start watching Kung Fu Panda: The Dragon Knight on Netflix, animated show. Jack Black's in it. He comes back to do the voice of Poe. It's really fun. I've watched the first like 3 or 4 episodes, I think, and just a really fun show. Like, I really like the original movie, and just anything Jack Black does. He's such a charismatic dude. Like, I love it. I love the joke that he's a D&D character that just put all his points into charisma. So, the animation is really cool.
It's all DreamWorks, right?
What's that?
DreamWorks? It's all DreamWorks, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's all DreamWorks. But yeah, if you're looking for something to watch with the family or whatever. I think that'll do it. Also, you can watch. We just did a Carl Urban show recently, and I realized that he had a new movie on Netflix as well. It's called The Sea Beast. It's an animated movie about pirates and sea monster hunters. It's really fun, really good, and the animation looks fantastic. Like, just really cool.
Does he
It is
say
a movie,
cunt?
so what's that?
Does he say cunt?
Not that I heard. I was
Oh,
definitely listening for it, but it is a kids movie, so maybe they left that in the cutting room floor. But yeah, it's really. But I really like the movie as well. I did figure out what was going to happen in the middle of the movie because it is a kids movie. So I was like, "Aha! You can't fool me. I know where you're going with this."
You outsmarted a
So
kids film.
damn right. Also, last weekend I had a double feature of Hannibal, the movie, and Silence of the Lambs. They were just playing. They were on like AMC or one of those channels, and I just left them on because I was working on like putting stuff together for our videos. One thing I don't understand is that why these like cable networks don't put the movies in order because they played Hannibal first, which is a sequel to Silence of the Lambs. They do that all the time with the Star Wars movies too. They'll play them all. They'll play them out of order, or the Matrix. Like it's weird that they do that. Maybe it's cheaper for them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because it seems like it would be an algorithm that would pick those and put them in a better way, but it's just terrible.
Yeah. My main takeaway is that first of all, my brother didn't know that Gary Oldman was in Hannibal. Like he's the guy with the face.
Yeah.
oh,
If you
the
see
guy
the-
with the face.
Yeah, the guy with the
Oh,
face.
that
Well,
guy. Okay.
maybe it's the guy without the face. I guess.
Yeah, he's without a face.
The guy
He
without
just
the face.
has he just has kind of skin that's healed.
Yeah, that movie is so fucking weird. Like his plan to take revenge on Hannibal by letting the pigs do the thing. It's so fucking weird. But then again, I mean, this whole Hannibal series, like I like rewatching those movies every once in a while. Like Red Dragon, I like a lot.
Yeah.
And obviously Silence of the Lambs, which I do miss Jodie Foster in Hannibal. I mean, she's kind of not irreplaceable because Julianne Moore does a decent job of being Clarice.
Yeah, but
it's
she's
not,
a different level of actress.
yeah, it's just not the same. But that was that. We did talk about Ms. Marvel, so I'll save the comics for a little bit later. We'll come back to me in a minute. So let's kick it off to Clay because I see something that came out this week that you have on your list that I also want to talk about. But you can go on whatever.
What we do in the shadows? Is that what you want to
yeah.
talk about?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So more Taika. What we do in the shadows. New season premiere. They dropped 2 episodes.
They did. They did.
Yeah. And so we see the return of Colin Robinson, but they don't call him. They call him Baby Colin Robinson because he came. The boy, yeah, because he was birthed from the anus of the real Colin Robinson. So he's not really Colin Robinson, but he has a grown man's head on a baby's body that has grown fast. So now he's like 5 or 6. And it's just the weirdest thing to see. It's just so weird, but it's hilarious. What did you think of the season premiere?
Dude, it is so good. I like how they set up this big thing and they just for last season, right? We're like, how are they gonna get out of this? Or like, how much time are we gonna spend away from the house? And like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
There's like a scene and they redid it. But I think Laszlo's character may be the best character in TV ever made.
I love him.
Me too.
I love Matt Berry though. So
yeah, Matt Berry's fucking like when they're talking to Nandor and they're doing it on the couch and he's like, pull up back here. So like he's just so good. He's just so good. I love what we do in the shadows. I miss the show. And then the
it's a
second
great
episode
one,
was
and it's a
also pretty
great
good.
rewatch. Huh?
The second episode was also really good with what's her name? She's the keeper of the whatever place.
Kristen Shaw.
Yeah,
Is
Kristen
that?
Shaw. She's so
Yeah.
funny too.
Yeah, it's weird because I've
So,
watched so much Bob's Burgers that when I hear her, even with a Transylvania accent, I still picture Louise from Bob's Burgers.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good
Um,
segue for your other thing.
yeah, Bob's Burgers movie hit Hulu, and I checked that out. It's so good. I mean, if you enjoy the show, it's pretty much like a movie version of that. They kind of do a neat thing with the way the show opening is. But it's a big adventure for the kids, and it's a big backstory for Louise. If you love Bob's Burger and that kind of humor, I mean, the movie's perfect.
Yeah, I watched
How would
that
you?
movie. It was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's
How
not,
would you?
I mean, the humor is just kind of sitcom-y.
How would you compare it to the Simpsons movie?
I never
And
saw the Simpsons movie.
you never watched that?
I've
Oh,
seen
that.
so much Simpsons TV that that when I see it, I kind of go, I think I've seen this before. So
Oh,
it's like I don't have them ingrained in my mind like Shelby. Shelby knows like episodes and when things
okay.
happened, and so I have to watch specific ones so I know jokes that she does.
Yeah, because I don't watch the Simpsons anymore live, like when they're
Yeah,
airing. Like I'll go back and rewatch some of the reruns for like season 1 through maybe 10 or 12.
yeah,
But the movie was really good because I feel like it tried to capture what they were doing in those earlier seasons with just like really tight
uh,
storytelling, really funny jokes. I do recommend it.
yeah.
I think it's far above what they were doing on the TV at the time when the movie came out.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and there's so
I'll
many
check.
like cameos and guests and stuff. Really fun. So some of the
Where's
jokes
it
maybe
streaming?
I think it's on Disney Plus. It should
Oh, that
be
makes
all of the
sense.
Simpsons is on there.
Yeah.
I guess some of the jokes are part of like they're kind of timely for what was going on at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, but other than that, I think it's still pretty fun to rewatch.
Yeah. For my show with Mark, I watched the first Beverly Hills Cop and loved it. I don't know, man. There was just this thing about Eddie Murphy at that time period that, like, if you were alive, everybody who knew who Eddie Murphy was, and just so much. I mean, from he had been on SNL, he had started to do movies, and then Beverly Hills Cop blew the fuck up. I mean, that music was everywhere. Uh, it was just Axel F. Like the dude had his own theme song, and you knew that song all the time whenever you would hear it. So uh, it was great to revisit that, and I'll talk about it more in depth on mine and Mark's podcast later.
Cool.
Unsocial
Yeah.
Spectators. Finished Miss Marvel too, and then I wanted to dip into some more 1984 films. So I watched 16 Candles with Shelby, who has never seen it,
Oh, wow.
and the movie lasts about 7 minutes before it's politically incorrect. So it's a really cringy watch.
Ooh.
I will say though that Gede Watanabe that plays the Donger. I wanted to go read what he thought of that character now that it's kind of like had its time and people are judging and say how offensive it is. And he talks about like just not having those kinds of roles at all. Like there was not a lot of Asian roles at the time. And so he took what he could get, like he's in this, he's in Gung Ho, he's in UHF. But yeah, the dude's from Utah. He spent a few weeks with a Korean friend to pick up the accent that he used in 16 Candles, auditioned for John Hughes with it, and then shows up to the script read and starts speaking like his regular English, and it just caught John off guard that he didn't even know that he was American. Like he thought that accent was legit and real, and pulled one over on him. He still says though, if you look at the character, he has a whole rotation. He has a whole character arc that he goes through. But the one thing that's missing from all the media is apparently Long Duck Dong does a rap about what he loves about America that has been cut from the DVD releases and exists somewhere. But he says, yeah, if people saw that, they would kind of get the character more, that he absolutely loves America and being in America. And so I'm kind of curious to try to track this rat piece down because I don't feel like it would come off as well now, but I don't know. We have
He's
to
also
see,
in
see how it works.
He's also in Gremlins too.
That's right. He does do Gremlins too. I forgot about that. Yeah,
Can
he
you
did a
operate a
lot of
camera?
movies back in the day.
Operate a camera. I am a camera.
I watched The
Clay
Wildlife.
Hold on, sorry, Clay. Kyle sent me something, and I want to see how this ties in, but I think it here.
Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Cop, actual Foley gonna find those drugs.
Yeah, I mean that's you hear that and you hear the words.
Uh-huh.
That was definitely worth it.
I also watched The Wildlife, which is kind of the unofficial sequel to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's not available streaming or on DVD or Blu-ray because it's tied up in the music rights.
I have the Blu-ray.
You have a Blu-ray?
Yeah, that's my rip is a Blu-ray.
Well, then how come what they're selling online is like CDRs and DVD-R copies? That's all I could find. Where did you get a copy?
I ordered it on Amazon.
What bonus features are on that disc?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I wonder
I don't know. I love
handmade print thing or something.
Yeah, I mean the main thing is it's tied up in music rights. It has so much great music in it. So the music rights have been big problems for movies from the 80s and the 70s. I mean, heavy metal being a prime example of that. But this one has so much great music in it. It's the story of a bunch of people at one time in one area in California. Very cool.
Oh, cool.
Vault series. Oh, these are the ones that they burn, right? For
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Are there special
Universal
features?
Vault series. I don't think so.
Ah, okay. Yeah, the great Leah Thompson's in it with Eric Stoltz, who she almost started 3 movies with now at this point because this would have been the first of 3 because she did this. She did Some Kind of Wonderful with Eric Stoltz, and if Eric Stoltz had stayed on Back to the Future, they would have done that together. So, again, I know Leah Thompson. We're big fans of Leah Thompson from Howard the Duck and every other movie she made. That wasn't
Caroline in the City.
Caroline in the City. Do you watch Caroline in the City? Because I saw that it's available on Peacock.
I don't watch it now, but I watched it when it was like I don't know if they were doing reruns or on USA Network. I think.
Yeah. And that's about.
How were you gonna say something? Sorry, I think I cut you off.
Yeah.
No. I was gonna say I watched a few episodes on Peacock.
Okay.
Does it hold up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I really want to hear a commentary track on 16 Candles because the gong that plays every time the donger shows up is so bad, and like I just want to feel the cringe at a commentary when things go bad in a film.
It's a fun way to experience media.
Yeah, just the cringy moments of bad of bad movies. But yeah, that's all I got. And I'm going to jump out for a second.
Right. Yeah, Kyle, what do you got? And then I'll go back to talk about some comics.
Let's see. I read Daredevil number 1. This is basically the issue where Matt's trying to just let people know that even though he's going to be leaving the city, there will be other heroes. So he starts off with a kind of let's take down some crime with Spider-Man, and even lets Spider-Man know that
that was really cool. That panel where they're both jumping in, or that page, really cool stuff.
And he basically lets Peter know that basically he's actually Matt Murdock, and that the person that died was his brother. And also the fact that Elektra has another introduction with Stick, and then basically there's it looks like I guess some guardian angel that's coming down. And Daredevil's like saying, I'm the head of the head, but I'm sorry, I'm the head of the hand, but now I'm actually afraid of this person. So I'm not sure exactly where it's going with that one. Read X-Men Gala number 1, which is dealing with the fallout of Cyclops telling the Daily Bugle that that basically the X-Men have resurrection powers. And, it deals with Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man all going to the gala, and the Spider-Man team with Wolverine because Mora is using like a copy of Mary Jane, and that's supposed to go into the next issue of Spider-Man. and then also has to deal with the X-Men reforming a new team, which has to do with Jean, Jean, Scott, and Cypher, along with looks like Havoc, Forge, Magic, and somebody else. And so it's some kind of
there's a lot of Summers team. A lot of Summers boys.
Oh yeah. And then I also read Savage Avengers number 3, which is dealing with the Avengers currently in the past trying to get away from the Deathlock, and you come to find out that the Deathlock is actually Miles Morales.
Oh, damn, that's cool. I need to go read that.
Yeah. So, and that's and then pretty much outside of that, I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I went to Barnes and Nobles and I picked up the complete Kamen Rider collection from the 70s. It's the complete 50th anniversary run of the manga.
Damn, that book is thick.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'll be reading that eventually.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all I got on my end.
All right. Cool. Well, did you watch Ms. Marvel?
No, I haven't. I mean, I know what happens.
Okay. We do recommend it. I think you jumped in as we were wrapping up our conversation.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, cool. Let me show my comics for the week. Before that, there is a show I did want to I guess I'll save it for recommendations. Let me just I read Ms. Marvel Volume 1 by Jewel Wilson because I wanted to go back and check out just how the show differed a little bit, and it's really cool because you see everything that's happening in the show, but then also how they change things around. So I do recommend you go back and read that. It's all on Marvel Unlimited. If you have that service, I think it'd be really cool to catch up. And then let me show you guys the comics I got for the week as well, that you can see reviews for most of the stuff on the channel. So I also picked up Hellfire Gala. I picked up the arcade variant. So I did go back and check. So this is the new X-Men roster. Firestar, Iceman, Magic, Forge,
That's right.
Havoc, Sync, Cyclops, and Jean Grey are still on the team. So we don't have Wolverine, unfortunately, because I really love Laura being on the team. So I also picked up some Hellfire variants. This is the Fantastic Dr. Doom. Probably one of my favorite outfits that showed up. There was
Who
also
did the art?
cameo. Huh? This is Daughterman.
Okay.
Also, John Hamm showed up in the Hellfire Gala. I think I sent out a tweet if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
And then some more Hellfire outfits. This is the Immortal X-Men for Emma Frost. This is New Mutants for Magic.
Love it.
I love these covers. They are going to be the death of me because there's so many. But and then I picked up some really cool stuff for the week that you can see videos on. Flavor Girls. If you like Power Rangers and Sailor Moon, I think you're going to dig this. Really fun stuff. And it's extra. It's extra long. It's 45, 50 pages.
Damn, that's like a trade.
Yeah. Also, Impact Winter number 1. This is a book about vampires. So if you dig that stuff, Image, really fun. 8 Billion Genies, still really, really cool.
I love the premise of that book.
Yeah. I checked yesterday. Our review for the issue 1 of this hit over 1,000 views recently.
Wow.
So that should tell you how much people are actually enjoying and looking for this book. Also, we know that it's been picked up to be a TV show soon. So congrats to Charles Soule and Ryan Brown.
Yeah, explain the plot to Mark, because I love the idea.
Oh, sure. So as soon as the population on Earth hits 8 billion, everyone in the world gets a genie that will grant you one wish. And each issue takes you through the first issue focuses on the first 8 seconds of after that happens, what happens, right? How people make their wishes and what the world looks like. The second issue focuses on the next 8 minutes. Then this latest issue was 8 days, so they're gonna kind of keep going that. But it's because everyone gets one wish. There's a lot of really weird, funky shit going around. In this latest issue, we get some artists that come back from the dead. What's his name? It's a singer. Jimmy.
Someone
Jimi
brings Jimi Hendrix back from the dead.
Not Jimi Hendrix, the other Jimmy. He's also a rocker. Maybe it's not Jimmy. Hold on, I'll tell you in 1 second. I forget what's it, but they actually play a song. Anyways, I'll figure it out in a second. But yeah, it's really fun. So highly recommend it.
Yeah, the
just Jim
the
Morrison.
premise of having
Jim
Morrison. Okay.
So
why would you bring him
also in the latest Superman Son of Kal-El, we have Dreamer. This is a character that came from the Supergirl TV show, and now she's showing up in here. So really cool that they're bringing characters like that. Tom King dropped the book this week, so I had to pick it up. This is just a one-shot, really fun story about Superman in a different world where the Justice League's not around. Then Batman 125. I love these little vinyl whatever covers. And then last but not least, Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals, Eve of Judgment. So this is the preamble to the big event that's coming up. So that's all I got. We'll be moving on to our main topic in just 1 second. I don't know where Kyle or Clay gone, but let me kind of set the premise of, and that's why we have Mark here. So Clay and Mark have been doing this podcast, Unsocial Spectators. You want to tell us what the premise of that podcast is, Mark?
We basically get together, talked about what we've watched the week before, and we sometimes talk about our favorite movies or maybe the worst movies we've ever watched, that kind of stuff. But we have been going from 1965 for all the Gen X years of movies. So we're about to do 1984 this week today. So we pick each of us picks a movie from that year, and we kind of talk about it a little bit, about the film, how we like it, and maybe some stories about the film as well. So that's basically what we do every week, and then we decide what we're going to watch the next week as well. So,
yeah. Have you looked at 1985 yet?
85. I want Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Damn it. That's the one. Shelby said that one.
Yeah. So because of that premise of you guys going throughout, every year in film, I think it was during one of the streams recently that we started talking about then what's been the best year you guys have talked about, and then that kind of got us going into what is the best year in film? Because you guys are in the 80s now, pretty deep, and I think the 80s had a lot of really good stuff, but I'm in a different generation than So for me, some of the best years in film are a little bit later and more in the 90s. So, and we'll get to that in a minute. So we wanted the premise for this show is that we want to talk about what we think it's the best year in film, and then just kind of discuss. Clay came up with a few questions that I had a hard time filling in because there's not a lot of specifics in my year. And so we'll be going over some of that, like what is the, some of the hidden gems from that year, some of the timeless stuff. One of my favorite questions, best Nick Cage performance. My year only had 2 movies, and they are not very good, either one of them.
What are they?
Really?
Yeah.
Not a good Nick Cage movie? That's weird.
2 for 2?
This is we will have no Nick Cage disrespect on this podcast.
What films are they?
Yeah.
It's called 8mm.
Yeah.
That's the one I picked. And then the other one I've never even seen, so I didn't even want to get into it. I forget what it's called. I'll look it up in a second.
What year do you
we'll
have?
get into more when we talk
99.
about that part. And then any movies that you don't want rebooted. I didn't see that question yesterday. I might have to go back and
Yeah, my buddy Terry this
yeah.
morning, I sent him a link to the John Hamm pics from the new Fletch that they're filming. Yeah, they're rebooting Fletch with John Hamm as Erwin Fletcher. Yeah, exactly. And so Terry wanted everyone to pick a movie or pick something that you feel shouldn't be rebooted, or maybe save something so they don't reboot it.
I'm still sad that they never did. Kevin Smith wanted to reboot Fletch with Jason Lee.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think would have been okay. Good.
Yeah, I'm curious. I still want to see it. I have the books, so it's supposed to be the second book in the series. So I'm going to watch it. I will.
This is where it comes out that I've never seen Fletch, but it's a Chevy Chase film, so I'm like, whatever, reboot it. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's
I like
not
John
good.
Hamm. I like John Hamm. I think he's funny.
Yeah, 30 Rock, he's hilarious.
I don't think he's the type to do Fletch.
Well, I think Chevy Chase made it his own by doing the characters and everything. So really, if you read the novels, it's a different feel. Like Chevy Chase added that element to that series by being able to do characters. So I just think it was what we did in the time period. Like if you look at like a lot of these 80s films, they're very strange in which they would take comedians like Eddie Murphy and they would make them cops, and like Fletch is an investigative reporter, it's just like these weird kind of roles where they just kind of use the comedian's improv and skills at being funny to just kind of be that character, and that's it. I'm curious what John Hamm will do different than Chevy Chase, and it's obviously going to be characters because John Hamm's not a character guy, but maybe it's going to stick more to the crime material in the book. I'll see it. I'm not beholden to Fletch. I've rewatched it, and I don't think it holds up as well. And I hope Terry isn't watching and hears this.
Like I don't want to be that guy, but I don't know if a lot of Chevy Chase's movies hold up at all.
Vacation,
except Vacation. Vacation's probably the.
I'm gonna give Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I think the Vacation movies. Yeah. They're fine. We can keep those. But Kyle, did you make up your mind? I know we were talking in the Discord yesterday. So obviously somebody already took 84 from you.
Yeah, I'm taking 85.
You're taking 85. Okay, so this is insane because
I thought you said 83.
No, I never said 83. I said 85. That's 83.
Mark is 83.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
I had a hard time because I have a hard time differentiating 84 to 86. I think it's like if I had to choose like a time period, those 3 years, because there's so many good films in that 3-year bracket, but I chose 85.
Yeah.
So this will show the generational gap that we have in the show. We have Mark picked 1983 to talk about. Clay picked 1984. Now Kyle has picked 1985, and I picked 1999. So, but it makes sense, right? I think maybe
we should have messaged Josh and see what he would have chosen.
We would all be around the same age in our lives through some of the periods that we picked, relatively. So I'm guessing a lot of this stuff has to do with the moment we saw those films, and then maybe those were some of the times where we were like either starting to go to the movies on our own, or maybe go to like I know 99. That's when I started going with my friends to the movies and stuff. Around those years. So that definitely changed my film experience. Which, as much as I love going with my family, it's not the same feeling of like having to go to the movies and then we all have to watch this that you don't want to watch it, but it's the family film that we all pick. As opposed to like, this is what I want to watch with my friends because we all want to watch the same thing.
How early were you dropped off at the theater by yourself? Like what age?
I think up until I was maybe 12 or 13, but my dad loved going to the movies with us. So like even if like it was more of like at some point we would tell him we were going with our friends, so he would drop us off if we wanted to, but he just liked going to the movies with us. So like,
oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when I was 10, me and my sister rode our bikes. I was 10 and she was 8 to go see Tron.
Nice.
We went from Duncanville to Irving. 13, 14 miles on our bikes, riding on the service road of the freeway. Yeah, those are Gen X days, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I looked up the first movie I ever saw by myself, and I was 10 years old, left at the theater to watch Going Ape with Tony Danza and Danny DeVito at the Eastgate Plaza.
Yeah,
Two-screen theater.
We would always ride our bikes to a Redbird Mall, you know.
Fuck. That's
Did
a haul,
Duncanville not
man.
have a
When
theater?
I was watching 1995. I'm gonna have to go check out some of those movies from 95. But Power Rangers for sure. Now, Mark, you want to know the craziest part of the story you just told me that well, at least in my opinion, you guys left, right? 12, 13 miles from your house, riding on the freeway on your bikes.
No phones.
No, exactly. Phones. Like, how do you communicate to anyone that you're all right?
What are you talking about? Payphones?
Yeah.
Maybe if they cared.
That blew my mind.
Why?
Yeah.
Look. If it was from on the weekend, we had breakfast. They let us go. They don't care where we are until the
sun goes down.
Lights come on the street.
Okay.
That's when we go home. For lunch, we would maybe go to the Gulf station to heat up a hamburger or something, you know?
Yeah. Same.
They didn't care.
We had a little market down the street we would go down and just get hamburgers at.
Yeah.
We were left alone a lot.
Go to the gas station. They didn't care about us.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, it's easy to get a hamburger then, too. They're 10 cents each.
They weren't 10 cents. They may have been 50 cents, you know, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gen X parents, man, they just did not care. You could go do whatever.
I mean, when I was 11, I started smoking, buying cigarettes out of the machine. Cigarette machine.
The fact that a cigarette machine exists is pretty insane. All right, let's get into some of these movies, and Mark, I'll let you, since you have the earliest year, you want to talk about some of the movies from '83 and why you think that's the best year or your favorite year.
Yeah, '83 probably. I think maybe '84 is better, but Clay already took it, so I went with '83. 83 was a big year for me because Return of the Jedi came out, and you know, I'm 11 when Return of the Jedi came out, and I went to Richardson Square Mall. I would ride my bike up there to see it probably 15 times. Wow. You know, so it was like every day of the summer, once a week maybe. And movies would stay in the theater much longer too. So you just go and go and go and go. So yeah, and I think that might be timeless too for me, you know, Return of the Jedi, you know.
Oh yeah.
And don't remake that. If you do, I will come and hunt you down if you remake that movie. You know. So probably Jedi, the best film of that year.
I was going to say, does that include George Lucas remaking it into his special edition?
Well, I already had tried to have, you know, the various mobsters try to take him out for that, you know. But they were unsuccessful. He has a pretty good bodyguard team, so. But War Games came out that year.
Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah, that got me into computers heavy.
Yeah, it got a lot of kids into computers, and it was probably the first hacker movie, you know.
Yep.
So a really, really fun film. And also, Eddie Murphy's second film, his breakout film was 48 Hours the year before, but this year was Trading Places. And I love Trading Places. It's just a great film, So I would definitely recommend that to anybody. Probably the best comedy that year.
I've watched this movie and it's so funny that all they do is talk about these frozen orange concentrate securities. And when I first watched it, I was like,
and pork bellies.
Yeah, pork. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know what any of that stuff means. Everything, but it's really funny. It's really good, and it's, I don't know, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd hanging out, like not hanging out, but like working together. Like, I really, really like that. I mean, they did two right together. They did this and what's the other movie that they did together?
Shit, I don't know if they did another one together.
Maybe I'm
Aykroyd
thinking of
and
something else.
Eddie Murphy.
I think that was the one they ever did.
Remember.
Yeah, that's the only one I can remember. I mean, the only other, he was supposed to be in Ghostbusters, but wasn't.
All right. Cool. Clay, you want to hit us with a few of your movies now? So we'll just go in order by year.
I mean, I definitely, like, 84 was so big for me. I was 13, turning 14. Ghostbusters. I mean, franchise still alive, still trying to crank out the bucks for it. Enough that they had to like kind of bring back the OG cast for Afterlife. People are so tied to that original franchise that they couldn't even let a spinoff or a sequel without the original ones exist.
See, you got three films there that came out that same month. Ghostbusters, Gremlins, and Karate Kid all came out the same month, June of 84.
Yeah. And Netflix has a Karate Kid show, Cobra Kai, and Gremlins coming out this fall.
Yeah.
Like they've done it and they've taken it and animated it. Beverly Hills Cop came out that year with Eddie Murphy. Now, Eddie Murphy had done 2 films before this, but this was the first of his next 7 films that would all appear at number 1. Like, he's just that damn good back then. Beverly Hills Cop is just, like I was talking about Fletch, you put in a comedian in a role of an officer and just kind of let him go. Like him putting on a show at the Beverly Hills Hotel, him, don't put banana in my tailpipe. And he gets the bananas from Damon Wayans, who made his movie debut in Beverly Hills Cop. It's just so damn funny. Like every one of the characters just seems to click, and Axel holds it all together. I mean, the dude had a theme song after his own name. So how cool is that? Because everyone knows the Axel F theme song.
If I remember correctly, was Eddie Murphy supposed to be more of a straight no-nonsense cop originally? Or maybe not Axel Foley. I don't know if Eddie Murphy had been cast yet, maybe. I remember reading that it was supposed to be more serious, not so much comedy.
It was supposed to be a serious role. It was actually written for, or I think it was spec'd for Sylvester Stallone. He took it and rewrote it and made Cobra. So Cobra has strong ties to what Beverly Hills Cop is.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's really what he did. He just took that movie and just kind of adapted it for himself. The Nick Cage movie of the year was Birdie.
Great film.
The hidden gem of 84 is Top Secret. While everyone loves Airplane, people rarely talk about Top Secret, and that is Val Kilmer's debut in film. Top Secret is just weird and funny, and if it's not Val Kilmer, I don't know who pulls that off as well as he does.
Now, Mark, you mentioned you were going to also pick this year. You got some stuff that, what is your favorite stuff that maybe they haven't touched on?
Well, I mean, Spinal Tap.
Yeah. One of the greatest comedies of all time.
Maybe my top 10 comedy, just great film. And, really started that type of mockumentary filmmaking,
Yeah. Well, I think, did Meet the Ruddles come out before this?
Yeah.
That was like the British version. And then And then this rock version by Rob Reiner is just fucking genius. It's so damn good. And look, you've even got some anime of that year, Nakasa. Is it Nakasa?
Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind.
Yeah, and that's the first Miyazaki, right? Film?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it is Miyazaki. I don't know if it's the first one, but
I thought it was his first one. Yeah,
might be his first official.
Yeah, and then you also have the same year Macross, which was adapted from
the TV series, not the movie.
Yeah, but the movie came out this year. Macross, Do You Remember Love, which was an adaptation of the Americanized version.
No, the Japanese version of Macross, because Robotech is Macross.
Robotech was the American, and
it comprised 3 different series: Macross, Southern Cross, and Mosfida. And so it was based on the original one from '82, which was Macross.
Yeah, so I mean, for a year that this is the beginning of anime becoming big in America because they're actually doing movies in theaters. That this is the beginning of the sign of good things to come.
You have Blood Simple, which is the first Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah,
in my opinion, the best Coen Brothers film.
Yeah, best soundtrack, Purple Rain, and that is beating out Stop Making Sense and The Wildlife. Stop Making Sense is just a pure concert film, and Purple Rain soundtrack is better than that entire Talking Heads film because it's fucking Prince and it's just amazing. There's just so much great in '84. It's tough to like Beverly Hills Cop becomes the biggest R-rated movie of all time for the next 19 years. It isn't dethroned for almost 2 decades. That's how big it was.
What dethroned it? Was it? Do you remember?
Shit. No, I want to say it. So 19 years later.
That's fine.
I
thought it was more for some reason. I remember people talking about Venom breaking some kind of R-rated record, but maybe it was just for comic book movies. I don't think it made that much. It made money. I don't think it made that much money.
Can you pull up a picture of Venom from the last movie? Because Venom, because he's actually wearing what Axel wears in Beverly Hills Cop. So he does a shout out to Axel in Venom. There's just so much in '84 that's still relevant today, that still holds up. Even if I go into horror, you've got Nightmare on Elm Street, franchise that's been around forever, that's done better than another franchise that started that year, Children of the Corn. I watched a couple of other movies. I watched Night of the Comet, which still holds up. I still love because it has a great soundtrack. It is pure 80s fun. It is the end of the world with 2 chicks who shop at the mall and just kick ass and shoot Uzis. And actually that moment.
That's '84 also.
Yeah, and even that moment where Kelly Maroney is shooting the Uzi with her sister out in the street, Joss Whedon would take that idea and spin that into Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Well, here's one for you. The girl that Kelly Maloney, was actually in 2 films that year because she's also the love interest in The Last Starfighter, which is in your list also.
Well, not Kelly Maroney, her co-star. It's
the brunette, not the blonde.
Brunette. Yeah. She's in The Last Starfighter, which is that year, which is another big video game movie that doesn't really have a video game tied to it.
Technically does, but it's not. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, it's tied after the film instead of before. Footloose referenced in Guardians of the Galaxy. Repo Man, which was weird because I thought Emilio Estevez was a lot older, and Repo Man shows up before he does Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Terminator, pretty big film.
Terminator, huge. '84 is just stacked. I even put in my
Cameron was so relevant.
Hey, he's making those Avatar films for somebody.
Like I said, when he was still relevant.
The comic book movies of that year are Conan the Destroyer, Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, Supergirl, The Toxic Avenger, and Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan. What a comic book movie year.
Sure.
Anyone?
Look, in '83, you had Superman 3.
With Richard Pryor.
We're still not doing
And
too good.
I think the best soundtrack that year was Flashdance.
That's a pretty good pick.
I think we all love the Superman story about the microtransactions.
Oh.
Right? That's
More than Superman 3?
That's right.
Also, Clay said he had the movie with the most cocaine in '84. What movie in '84?
The Cannonball Run 2. I don't think there's a movie with more people on cocaine than in Cannonball Run 2. If you look at that lineup of those people and that insane film that it is, Cannonball Run 2 shouldn't exist, but it does.
Yeah, but in '83 on screen, Scarface, plenty of cocaine.
Yeah, that's a lot of cocaine.
That's a meme now, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone go watch Cannonball Run 2 and just see how many drugs they're on to make that film. Especially when you see Jamie Farr dressed up as like a Middle Eastern person. It is so cringy. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of home runs in '84 that, I mean, even the comic book movies. Conan the Destroyer is a pretty badass film. It's got Grace Jones kicking ass in it. Grace Jones didn't learn about stunt people until she made a movie. Like they said on the set that Grace Jones actually hit a lot of people with the sticks and stuff because she didn't understand stunt work. And so like 2 stuntmen were injured on set during the making of this film because she hit them with sticks. It's obviously not the best of the Conan films, but what makes up for 1984 that all these other things don't is it was the year of breakdancing. We had Breakin', Beat Street, and Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo all in the same year.
What is this? How did this get made list?
Come on. You know you watch Electric Boogaloo once a year.
No.
Have you ever watched a breakdancing movie?
Do the Step Up movies count? What about
what the
Honey
fuck is
with
a
Jessica
Step
Alba?
Up?
What about Honey with Jessica Alba? Does that count?
No, I just want to see Jessica Alba.
All right,
I would watch the Fantastic Four to see Jessica Alba and not watch that.
We'll come back to 84 in a minute. Let's talk a little bit about 85. So, Kyle, you sent me this list. I already had a kind of a list pulled up too from Letterboxd. I love Letterboxd for this stuff. But
I mean, of course, my all-time favorite film right there, number 4 on the list, Goonies, 85. You've got Back to the Future, of course, which starts with a great trilogy, and then also not to mention the fact that they also released Teen Wolf that year also.
Oh shit! Wow.
Again, also I'm gonna tie Teen Wolf into Commando, which was the Arnold Schwarzenegger film there, which also starred Alyssa Milano. Both films written by Jeff Johns.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, before he got into comic books, he had written both those films came out in 85.
Dude.
Yeah. You also got Jewel of the Nile.
Wait,
you got
Jeff Loeb.
I'm sorry, Jeff Loeb, not Jeff John. I'm sorry, Jeff Loeb. Sorry about that.
But still, Jeff Loeb that old.
But still, a pretty big name in the comic book industry.
Oh, very, very.
Yeah, it was Jeff Loeb.
Yeah. Okay. You've got so we've got like Jewel of the Nile. You've got the Black Cauldron, which I think might have been, which was almost killed Disney, but might be the hidden gem, or just because of how it is a dark fucking film. I mean, it's not Disney style, but it's still worth watching.
I would put Return to Oz in that category too, because Return to Oz.
I know that's another. Return to Oz was in that year, and that was another dark film, especially.
You have the best Rocky film.
I don't know. I'd have to argue that one. I don't know. The first 4 are all decent.
I love Rocky 4. I love the new director's cut that Stallone released too. Rocky 3, Mark, you're a Rocky 3 guy.
Clubber Lang.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah. You're a Rocky
the first movie.
You got The Breakfast Club. You've got Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, which is a classic right there. Early Tim Burton. You've got Clue. I mean, how do you beat Clue out of all the fucking films too? Question
about Clue. For each of you guys, did all you go watch Clue at the theater?
No.
Yeah. I did.
I saw it, but I don't remember seeing it. I think
So you know, I was gonna ask, do you know which ending you watched?
No. I saw it on TV where they showed all the endings.
Yeah, I got
okay.
when you rented the VCR, it had all 3 endings on it. So
yeah.
You've got
okay.
Fright Night. You've got Explorers. Early
Explorers might be the hidden gem, dude.
Yeah. Joe Dante. You've got Legend, Lady Hawk, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Okay, so this one might be only because I remember going to see this with my dad. Santa Claus the movie. Dudley Moore, John Lithgow. I mean, just for a Christmas film, it's not great, but it's just. I remember seeing it with my dad in the theater, and it was a lot of fun. Summer Rental with John Candy.
That's a real genius.
Brewster's Millions.
The stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Real Genius in the theater. I loved it. You know.
We're talking about comic book films. Red Sonja and Weird Science. Let's see. We've still got Rocky IV.
I have another. Police Story came out in that year. This is also
that's right. Yeah, Police Story for Jackie Chan.
Wow.
I love Police Story.
That's what I was looking. Yeah. You've got Rambo: First Blood Part 2. You got Cat's Eye.
Brazil.
Ooh.
Day of the Dead.
That was also the year for A View to Kill, which would be Roger Moore's last time starring as what do you call it? James Bond. St. Elmo's Fire came out, so that was 2 of the Breakfast Club films we got.
Now, well, hold on. I'm gonna have to say, St. Elmo's Fire is a real turd. It is a piece of shit film, and if you rewatch it, you will agree with me because it doesn't hold up.
I didn't think it was that bad. Then again, first time I watched it was like 2 years ago, so I'm not really comparing it from.
It's got 3 stars on Letterboxd, so.
Oh, it's just not good.
Turd might be a little harsh.
No, I give it 1 turd. It is very bad. It's just entitled people at that time period. Just like give me everything, and it's just you're just kind of sick of them by the end.
For horror fans, Reanimator was also released that year.
Vampire Hunter D. I didn't know that was in
came out. Yeah, Police Academy 2, The First Assignment.
Yeah, but when did the first one come out?
Oh,
I was like, I just saw it.
I think it's a decent film. Spies Like Us.
Yeah. The Last Dragon.
What are you guys' favorite Police Academy movies?
No Retreat, No Surrender, which was Van Damme's first film.
Yeah, that's
the first one. Mark,
about
the first one's your favorite.
First one. I mean,
yeah, first one.
The rest of them are just also.
I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but mine's Citizens on Patrol. I don't know why. It's just so goofy.
But that's also a Gutenberg's last time playing it.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely need the Goots on your Police Academy movies. Tell me all about Invasion USA.
Oh God, Chuck Norris. Oh Lord.
What is this?
Fuck yeah.
What is this?
This is probably where all the memes come from because he is ridiculous in saving people.
Okay, if you give Invasion USA 2.8 but St. Elmo's Fire is a 3, what does that say about Letterboxd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrong people have access to this platform.
Real quick, 85 also want to go into some of the TV series that 85 brought out.
Whoa.
A TV series, Growing Pains, MacGyver, The Golden Girls, 227. Also, let's see.
The jury will
what's happening now, and also cartoon-wise would also bring in Thundercats, Gem, Robotech, the Ewoks and Droids cartoons on Saturday morning, She-Ra, Mask, and the Gummy Bears.
Man, that would be the last Star Wars we would get for a long time then, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not. I had to look because we still have to technically count the 2 Ewok films that were atrocious.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I need to see what years. It was 85 was both. But Ewoks got 2 seasons, Droids got 1. But it was all Saturday morning cartoon. And also, 85 was the release. It was released in Japan, Godzilla, but also brought us Godzilla 85, which was the first Godzilla film since 1973 with Godzilla versus the Return of Mechagodzilla.
I was going to say there
I don't
was
know
a
who-
Godzilla in '83, but it was a Japanese release, so I didn't.
No,
add
but
it.
it was '84. It was '84, but it was the first time.
Oh, '84.
Yeah, but then they released it in America and brought it in America, and also brought in Raymond Burr to reprise his role from the original, Godzilla they released here. So,
Well,
I mean, I
listen,
think '85's got some strong stuff there.
Yeah.
we may have to do a TV year.
Oh
episode.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Maybe we'll split it into live action and animation.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that would be
Okay,
good.
cool. Well, let me talk a little bit about 1999.
99.
And I think so. I've heard this for a long time, and I think when I was doing research for the show, there's a lot of articles that talk about kind of the same thing. I think because it's the year that changed the way people go watch movies at the theater because of all the stuff that was happening. Like these movies started making a lot of money. We had a new Star Wars movie that year come out, like since after 30 years. It just the type of movies that were coming out, they were a little bit different. So let's look at some of those things. And then also, like I said, it's kind of a new generational thing. Like this is the end of the 90s. So let's and look, I'll start with The Matrix. The Matrix is in my top 4 films on Letterboxd. So like I love The Matrix. I think when we were talking about the timeless movies, I think that's one of them because it changed the way we do a lot of things, especially action movies, right?
Right.
The way this movie's shot, the technology. I mean, obviously some of the stuff doesn't hold up to what we do now, but it's definitely bringing in all that stuff. Also, the first Star Wars movie I watched in the theater, Episode 1. Like this is
Best
weird
film of the new
sentence to hear.
trilogy.
It's not the worst of all the movies. I'll tell you that right now.
No, it's the best one of the new trilogy or of the original trilogy.
I don't know about that either. It's in the middle for me, but I love it. I mean, we hadn't had a Star Wars movie in such a long time, but just taking a look at some of the other stuff that came out. Fight Club, I think that was. I know it didn't do well. A lot of these movies didn't do well at the time in the theater, but they became like cult classics, right? At least for the next for the audience going forward. I mean,
Yeah, well, Chuck Palahniuk had a lot of books at that time that were being optioned for films, and Fight Club was the big one that got taken.
Yeah, and even though we shouldn't be talking about it, like it is Fight Club. Fight Club's here.
I love Fight Club, but it is definitely a movie of that time period. And so watching it, like you said, you watched it, 9 months ago?
Yeah, maybe 9 months ago, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think, Mark? Watching it now, what did you think?
I thought it was overhyped by a mile, but it was okay,
Yeah.
I kind of saw what was coming, it was kind of easy to see.
At this point, it's also been kind of in the zeitgeist so much that by the time this is one of the reasons I've never seen Avatar. Speaking of James Cameron, is because at the time people were talking about it like it was like the best movie of all times, and it did make all the money in the world. So because I missed it in the theater, I was like, I don't think there's a movie watching experience. I don't think watching it at home is going to have the same. I didn't want to be disappointed, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen Avatar or Titanic. I skipped those.
All right, well, yeah. So make sure if you're looking for Avatar coverage in the next few months, you won't find it here.
Never seen it.
But let's see. The Sixth Sense. That was probably one of the biggest twists in movie. Now we get all the twists kind of spoiled in advance for the most part. But at the time. And then we have movies like the Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch,
which is
dude, that was so big.
Which made people believe, kind of like a War of the Worlds scenario, right? That people maybe thought that this was really something that really happened.
But see, like Mark is showing that face, but I remember when that came out at that time, they were talking about it on the ticket. And Corby Davidson was trying to find information on, and so he was searching the internet like anyone would do today, but you just didn't have as much information to find what the Blair Witch is about and everything. So there was this idea that maybe this was a true found footage film that went for a while.
The way I knew it wasn't real is because I remember my girlfriend at the time too when to go see it, and I think her name's Heather Donahue was the girl from the movie.
Yeah.
About a month and a half later or two, I go to see a film in the theater. Or actually, I think it was a year later. I went to see a film in the movie with Freddie Prinze Jr. and the girl from Mallrats, the love it for Jason London's character, but she was in there also, and I was like, okay, so she's an actress, so it means the whole Blair Witch thing was bullshit.
I knew it wasn't real because I don't believe in witches.
Well, yeah, that too.
Hey, witches are real. Whether they can do magic or not, that's a different thing. But we also have The Iron Giant, one of the best Superman films ever made.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking great.
And also that gave us that gave way to Vin Diesel breaking into Hollywood, right?
Yep, that voice.
Into the voice acting game. We
From
also
Iron
have
Giant to Groot.
Another one of my favorite action movies ever, like
So
The Mummy.
good.
I love this movie. I love rewatching
Never
this
seen
movie.
it. I've seen the second one, but never seen the first one.
Never seen it.
What? How do you watch the
It's so
second one?
fucking fun, dude.
I know we just talked about not getting mad at people for not watching movies, Mark, but Kyle, how do you watch the second one?
I don't know. I just never seen it.
I'm gonna give you some homework. I'll watch one of your movies, but I need you to watch The Mummy.
I call bullshit on that.
But I'm a Cheerleader. That's a great movie.
Tarzan, I think that was a fun animated film. It had a really interesting animation.
Yeah,
because it was different. It was there, like all the character designs were very different from what Disney was doing at the time. Office Space.
fuck yeah.
I'm not a
Speaking of
horror guy,
Superman
but I
3,
always hear Audition in the horror like talk.
Audition's
I've never seen
great.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great film.
I hear it's pretty hard, like pretty hardcore as far as like the stuff that happens, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, somebody gave Mike Myers the space to do Austin Powers, and that has led to him playing every character in his movies from now on, right? Like,
Dude, but that was so big back then. Like, it just doesn't hold up today, I don't feel like.
Yeah, I never saw it. Never saw it. I hate my Myers so much I just boycotted every Austin Powers movie.
Oh, shit. But I love the murder one.
Oh, How I Married an Ex-Murder?
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I never saw it.
There is nothing wrong with the original Wayne's World.
I saw that.
No, I think that one I can take as far as like, I think I can definitely stomach that one.
Yeah, in fact, I went to see Wayne's World 2 in the theater, and I brought a bong.
That's awesome.
I think Wayne's World 2 was a little like it definitely made a lot of fun of it being. It was very meta as far as like, this is a sequel. Like kind of making fun of itself. I don't know if a lot of movies did that, but we also have, I think, one of Jim Carrey's probably best performances, Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I see two hidden gems already.
You guys were talking about Boondock Saints earlier, like with your signed posters and all that, like, and then of course Kevin Smith still making movies.
Great dog.
I've never seen Man on the Moon. I've never seen Man on the Moon.
Oh, it's really good.
It's good. Yeah, you should see.
Yeah, it's really good, especially because what's his name? He was so awkward, but then it really goes into like, was this was he playing a character, or was this really the way he was?
I've heard a lot of that. Yeah.
So
I missed it. Did you guys mention Galaxy Quest?
I think I skipped over it, but it is on here. Yeah, it is on.
Yeah, you can't not mention that one. That one alone is one of the greatest Star Trek films ever.
Yeah, and Cronenberg's Existent is probably my favorite Cronenberg.
Oh, this one? Oh, I never.
Yeah.
Let me put that on the watch list. I'm adding a lot of stuff to the watch list.
From '83, I can't not mention Videodrome too.
Yeah, those two are about the same level.
Great Cronenberg.
Great.
Now, we do have a lot of teen comedies at the time, which I wouldn't call them. I don't know that they're great, but they definitely grew up. I mean, I
love American Pie.
Hell yeah.
I watched
She's All That. I still like She's All That.
I watched 10 Things I Hate About You,
That's good.
I love 10 Things I Hate About You. That's a
yeah, me too. I love those movies.
Big Daddy. Did you guys mention Big Daddy? That was still one of my favorite.
Yeah, Big Daddy is on there too. Now they also made a lot of bad movies, but I love to kind of rewatch them. I love watching Deep Blue Sea.
I saw that in the theater. It is so bad, but I love how bad it is.
I love how Sam Jackson goes out in that movie. It's probably the best death
The
in
best.
cinema, maybe.
Oh my
Um,
god, dude!
I,
Have you not seen Drop Dead Gorgeous?
I've not seen it.
I don't think so.
Dude, that is the funniest fucking movie in this entire list. That is your gem. I guarantee you, everyone will laugh at this movie. Add it to a watch list. I think it's on HBO Max. Dude, it is
Kirsten
so
Dunst
hilarious. Yeah.
and Denise Richards. Oh wow,
Allison Janney is a queen of comedy in this movie. She is so great.
she is great. She's just, I mean, overall, she's just a great actress.
The fact that y'all
let's
haven't
see.
seen that, I'm going to list that as a hidden gem of 99 because
Now, in 99, Scorsese and Nick Cage gem, in my opinion, Bring Out Your Dead. Great freaking film.
yeah, that's a little intense. Go
we get
is great.
we get to the best Nick Cage movie I could find for 99.
The snuff film.
8 millimeters. Yeah, there was not a big Nick Cage selection this year. There was also not a big comic book selection this year.
Wasn't Bring Out Your Dead in 99?
Yeah, it was in the first page he looked at.
Yeah, that's a great Nick Cage movie.
Oh, is it? I didn't
It's
see.
Martin Scorsese and Nick Cage.
Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I'll add it to my watch list because I
Great
definitely
film.
missed that.
Yeah.
As far as go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, finish.
I think it's on Netflix, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and as far as comic book movies, the only ones, I don't even know if they're real comics, but they listed Inspector Gadget, Mystery Man, and okay, cool. Mystery Man, which I think it was way ahead of its time.
Oh, definitely.
And then we talked about the Iron Giant, which it also said it was from a comic book. I don't know if it is or not.
We also got the
Uh,
Craptastic films like Bicentennial Man.
Yeah. American
I haven't
Movie is
watched
pretty
it in a
great.
long time, but I've seen it.
Go is
let's see if
probably
there's
the
anything
best
else.
out of that whole stack.
Oh, Lake Placid. I love how bad it is, but I love it.
That's a fun film. That's a fun bad
awesome.
film.
I love it.
Oh, Idle Hands.
Idle Hands. Jessica. Speaking of Jessica Alba,
Oh, there's also Dick.
Dick is, that's a funny movie.
I remember.
Stir of
going to
Echoes
see
is
the-
a little unsettling.
Yeah. So let's see. I think that's about. We're getting pretty deep in 1999, but
You don't want to talk about Deuce Bigelow?
The 13th Warrior is pretty good. I recommend that. Good film.
And 13th
Oh,
Floor.
the Hurricane too. The Hurricane's pretty good.
Oy.
I
Deuce
have to watch
Bigelow,
this.
Male Gigolo. God.
Now I'm just
So
adding
bad.
stuff to my watch list.
All right. But Entrapment, I love because of the age difference between Catherine Zeta-Jones and Sean Connery. That's like, 50 years? It's so great.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think let's go back to 83. Mark, did you go through all your questions of like? So I know you mentioned best soundtrack, Flashdance. Now tell me a little bit about your favorite Nick Cage movie for this year, because I don't think I've seen that.
Valley Girl.
So good.
Great movie. Great
movie. Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Fantastic movie. It really hits 1983. What was going on then? A good mall film. A good poor kid living with the rich kids or trying to fit in with them, and really his first starring film.
Yeah.
No,
It has the great E.G. Daly in it, who will show up in Big Top Pee Wee.
Yeah. Now.
Or no. Pee Wee's.
Big Adventure.
Big Adventure.
Big
Yeah,
Adventure.
she plays Dottie.
Yeah, and now Videodrome. All hail the new Flesh.
Yes.
It's a great film, great Cronenberg film. I mean, just almost a perfect body horror film.
Yeah,
It's got a pretty high score here too. Yeah.
Yeah, Deborah Harry is great. Just totally creepy, totally insane film.
yeah. But he was obsessed with how much technology was taking us over back then, like with just VHS tapes and the technology we had in the 80s.
Now, speaking of Cronenberg, Mark or anybody else, have you guys seen Crimes of the Future, the newest film that he did this year?
Yeah, I saw the remake this year of Crimes of the Future.
What did you think, Mark? Because I was very upset by that film.
I loved it. It's maybe my third favorite Cronenberg. Great film. His the first Crimes of the Future he made in 1970, and it's not as good. It's interesting, but no special effects or anything back then. He made it on the cheap, But I love the new Crimes of the Future. I love Cronenberg, so I was ready for it. It's not something I would recommend to anybody.
Right.
No, it's not.
It's for me. It's for me. I'm a weird motherfucker. So I loved it. Completely love that film.
When the dude with the ears showed up,
the best. That was the best part.
And then seeing some behind the scenes of how they did that, I was like, oh my god, this dude is insane.
Oh yeah, that's why I love him so much.
Now, how do you like A History of Violence, which stars the same team, right? Viggo Mortensen and Cronenberg, but it's a more grounded film. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's not as weird as I'd want it to be.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Now, in Crimes of the Future, Kristen Stewart is amazing.
Yes.
She's great.
I wish we had more of her character throughout the film.
Yeah, I totally agree. She was good in Spencer, but man, is she good in Crimes of the Future. She is probably the best, I wouldn't say up and coming, but best young actress right now.
I'm definitely surprised she didn't get a nomination for Spencer. This year. All right. Is there anything else in 83 you want to talk about before we check on with the other guys?
My hidden gem for 83. Strange Brew.
Oh. Yes.
Great film. Just fantastic. I mean, back then, I remember that they came out with their comedy album.
I've got it.
Oh, it's just great stuff. The song was on the radio all the time, and then this movie came out, and I love the fact that, it's so good. It's a movie within the movie,
Yeah. So do you know the origins of Strange Brew?
No.
So SCTV would air in Canada and in the US.
Well, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they had different advertising times. So they actually had 2 minutes in Canada that they had to fill that was used as advertising time in the US. Strange Brew was just that for that 2 minutes. It was
really?
Yeah, it was created to just appeal to Canadians. So that's why it was just this full-on Canadian joke that they felt like that only Canadians will get, and then it just blew up into Strange Brew.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie. Max von Sydow is great in that film. One of my favorite evil characters in all the movies,
Rick Moranis, though, man, you only get him in so many films, and so it's great to see it. He was in 16 Candles. Like, he is the manager of Fashion Dynasty, and he has just this great big hair that's awesome.
Wildlife, you mean?
Wildlife, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Clay, we'll go to you next. Sorry, Mark, was that it?
Oh yeah, that was it for 83.
All right, cool.
Did you pick one out that you don't want rebooted though?
Return of Jedi, please don't do it. Anything like that.
Yeah, someone asked me a couple weeks ago, like, do you think they will ever just remake the original films with new actors? And I was like, God, I hope they don't.
Yeah.
There's no need.
Look, don't mess with Star Wars. When I went to see Star Wars in 77 at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood,
Oh wow!
I was going to see my babysitter movie. Mark Hamill, 1973, babysat me. I was 18 months old in December, and my parents went to a birthday or a Christmas party, and one of their friends had a guy she was going to college with named Mark Hamill. And he needed the money, so he babysit me.
You were Baby Grogu before Baby Grogu.
Yeah. So, which means I was 18 months, which means he may have touched my butt.
Oh, shit. Why would you say that?
I don't remember. But,
Why would you say that?
He may have seen my lightsaber.
Damn, that
Mark,
I didn't think that was gonna get there, but
we got there.
So moral of the story: don't remake Return of the Jedi.
No, please don't remake it.
Please. Cool. Clay, let's check in with you before we wrap up. Anything else for 84? Anything we didn't cover for you?
I'm trying to look. I think if I was going to say don't remake a movie, I think it's a given, but I think somebody would try to remake Purple Rain. And I just don't think that is possible without Prince.
You can't do it without Prince.
Somebody will try, though. That's the thing is I feel like if that's a movie somebody would try. Because it's beloved and the soundtrack is great, but it's really only Prince. I think somebody thinks that they could do that and do a cover, and it would be bad.
Yeah, it would be bad, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I point out in my year is John Hughes. The year before had done Vacation. This year he did 16 Candles. Next year he would do The Breakfast Club. This is kind of the start of the John Hughes is telling us stories about Generation X, and I'm kind of excited about this. But it's coming from an older guy, so you have to take that with a grain of salt with his perspective on things in the way he tells these stories. I just love the John Hughes movies. I don't feel like they stand up a lot now, but they're mine. I think they will be remade at some point, though. I would rather protect Purple Rain and give up The Breakfast Club.
Okay.
No? Okay. But yeah, I think that's about it of everything I wrote down.
Cool. All right, Kyle. What about you? Did you have anything? What's the movie you don't want remade? Did you come up with something?
Not really. I mean,
Kyle's like right now, I just don't touch anything.
Yeah, almost that way. Yeah. I would say the Goonies, but like I know they're Disney's doing a Goonies TV series, which basically it's not a remake like a TV series, but it's basically this teacher, her students are going to be remaking the movie shot by shot. So it's kind of a discovery on the remake and shooting of the actual film itself. So that might be kind of interesting to see. But
yeah, that's a way different take. I like that.
Yeah. As movies, I don't know. I got nothing really off the top of my head. And there is no Nick Cage movie for that year. So there's no movie. Yeah. So 85, he had no film coming out. It was 83 to 86 and then, or 84 to 86. And there was nothing. 85, he missed it. Thank God.
Really?
What a sad year.
That's why you picked it.
Look,
it was Nick
I like
Cage-free.
I like earlier Nick Cage stuff. Like if you were telling me like what I think one of his best films are, it'd probably be like Air Con or Con Air. Yeah, Con Air. Yeah. Even The Rock was good. And Face Off.
Have you seen Pig?
No,
You should.
It's on Hulu. It's great.
I might give it a shot, but I'm not a big fan of his more recent stuff.
Man, that movie he did where he played himself is like the best. It's so damn good. And then you add Pedro Pascal to it, and it's even better.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just say a lot of the movies that from 1999 have already been remade, rebooted that I wouldn't want it to be. The Mummy, which was a failure. Yeah. The Matrix, which it's not really a remake, but isn't it? It's kind of a reboot. I like it. I
kind of a
reboot.
Enough.
Yeah. The one I will say, please don't remake, and it's not for the reasons that you think. Don't remake Deep Blue Sea, please. And also, do not touch Wild Wild West. We don't need it.
Oh, it's so bad. That movie is so fucking terrible.
How could you make it worse?
Oh, shit. How could you make Wild Wild West worse? Okay, take it seriously. Put in a spider in the third act. I mean,
it's like the same movie. The same movie, just play it seriously.
Yeah.
Man, I love that show growing up. The TV show, just greatness, you know.
Yeah, the show was fun, but the movie is just the opposite of that.
Yeah. And I guess my other takeaway, we need more Nick Cage in '99.
Oh my god.
Yes.
But I did get a new movie today, so I'll go check that out.
See Bring Out Your Dead. Really worth watching.
Cool. Well, I think as far as our movies go, that's it. I do want to do one thing before we go into recommendations. Hold on one second. Let me get ready for that because I want to do a trailer reaction here, but I need to put my headphones on so it doesn't
echo. Plus, I have a video to play in my recommendations, so.
Okay, yeah. So I'll wear headphones for the rest of that. So let me cut because I want to cut this out and put it in a separate video. This week we saw the release of a new trailer for Rob Zombie's The Munsters. Now, have any of you guys watched this?
Yeah.
Kyle
you've seen the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so before we get into the trailer, I want to talk about how familiar are you with the original Munsters? I mean, I know there's been 2 series since we talked earlier, right?
I love the original. I love Frank Gwynn.
Seen them all.
Now, I think I told you guys this a couple weeks ago. Like when I was a kid, I thought the Munsters and the Addams Family like lived on the same block.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah.
I didn't know they were separate things. Because as a kid, I was just watching reruns, and they're both black and white shows with weird looking characters.
Yeah, the Addams Family was a comic strip.
Yeah, it was. Addams Family was in your paper.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So you could find strips from Charles Addams that he would do, and they were mainly like just one-shot comic strips. And the Munsters, I think, just spun out of the idea of what the suburbs were and how weird it was.
The Addams family, I would say the comic strip was like the Family Circle, but weird.
Family Circus?
Family Circus, but weird.
Cool. All right, well, let's go check out this trailer because I'm interested to see. The reaction online has not been great, and I think
I did see that.
Yeah, I can't do Grandpa with the damn mustache.
People don't have. I don't know. People have a. Go ahead.
Say there's one person that I can do with a mustache, and that he's no longer with us, but that's Cesar Romero as the Joker. Him having the white painted face and 66 Batman with that mustache, I can let that go.
I'll say I don't know. We'll see what this looks like. Let me know, guys, if you guys can hear when we start. But here's the trailer for The Munsters. I like
A little
this.
throwback. I like. When we're going to hit full color.
Rob Zombie, the director of House of a Thousand Corpses, Halloween, and The Devil's Rejects, brings you the greatest love story ever told.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Think of it. The brain of a super genius transplanted into the body of a perfect physical specimen.
I want a man that makes my blood run cold. A man that every time he enters my crypt, it's like a stake through my dead black heart.
I can whip you up a humpy down in the land.
Oh no. Remember what happened last time?
He was battered.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm looking for a vision, a queen, true love.
What exactly do you want?
Is Herman Munster in there? I knew the moment I laid eyes on you that you were special. I understand if you don't feel the same. I'm just a regular gal living a boring, normal life.
If there's one thing I know, is that the rest of the world melted away as soon as you appeared in my life.
It seems Miss Lily's truly in love.
Oh, come on. You know, and I know that we got to get rid of that bozo Herman Munster.
Greetings from Transylvania. That's a strange way of saying hello.
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to get used to it.
Wow. Oh,
Fred
wow.
One, Al Lewis, and Eli DeCarlo are now turning in their graves of how shitty
Oh my
that was.
goodness.
That was fucking terrible.
I saw the teaser, but I hadn't seen that piece of shit yet. What crap.
We try to not be super negative on the podcast, but I don't know what
It's
that
a
was.
piece of shit. It's
Yeah,
a piece
like-
of shit.
If you said Rob Zombie is doing the Munsters, I'd go, when has he ever done a comedy? Because that's
Yeah.
what the Munsters are. And that's exactly what I expected, was like not funny. Like it just came across flat. I mean, I didn't get any humor from any of that wasn't
From what I've
forced
heard
and
is he's a
bad.
huge fan of the series, so he's trying to keep it as a comedy. I'm like, don't. Oh my god.
I mean,
alright,
yeah,
so
or hire somebody who knows comedy.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the cast because, of course, I should have known.
Jeff Daniels is Herman Munster.
Yeah, no, Jeff Daniel Phillips. That's
Oh,
a
my bad.
different person, not Jeff Daniels. So also I think Sherry Moon Zombie, that's his wife, I believe.
Lily.
Yeah.
She's Lily Munster, which of course that
She
makes
pulls
sense.
it off. She does a perfect impersonation. She does the hand mannerisms and the voice. I mean, she almost sounds like Elvira in a way when she does it.
Yeah, she was the only person that seemed close. you
Right.
know.
Yeah, I don't know this other guy. For say here, let's take a look at the cat, and then Daniel Robeck. I'm not familiar with this guy as far as he's grandpa.
He's a character actor. When you see him without makeup, you'll recognize him, especially without the mustache. You've seen him and
I
stuff.
thought I was going to, but let's see.
But yeah, that was.
Oh
not
yeah,
good.
yeah. I know
Yeah,
him.
that seems like, okay, so Grandpa is is going to get rid of Herman because he's bad for Lily and he hates him, which is not the vibe you get from the show at all. So obviously
No.
he turns it around. You won't get the dog. You won't get Marilyn. You won't get Butch Patrick as Eddie.
Spot? Where's Spot?
Yeah, so you're only dealing with 3, which is weird to cut back the cast on a film like that. Like I'd almost want to see like maybe they were older, maybe Marilyn's graduating college or something where you had the whole family. Like I don't want to see the love story between these two. And there was nothing funny in that trailer whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, no. Jorge Garcia's Floop from Lost.
Oh, from Lost. I recognized him when he opened the door.
Now, who is this? Cassandra Peterson? I don't know if this is a new character.
She's Elvira.
Elvira.
Yeah, no, I recognize her, but that's her name. Okay, yeah. Barbara Carr. She's playing Barbara Carr. I don't know who that is in the.
I think she was one of the regular people that came from real life into the monster's life. I think was she like a real estate person?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just trying to remember back to the show, and it's probably been a few years since I've seen those. Wow, that was so bad, though.
Like, yeah, that was a miss. That was a miss. I don't think it really captures any of the. I don't know. The show. I think a big thing for me definitely is that it's in color. It looked like the scenes where they went back through the door and it was in black and white. That felt a little better, and maybe that's part of the dissonance that I'm having. That I don't like. I know Herman Munster's supposed to be green, but I don't.
Look, I can't be green. I can't get any of my niece or nephews to watch black and white movies. They won't do it.
Wow. They're missing out.
Weird.
They just won't do it, man. They're completely averse to doing that kind of stuff. So,
well,
they're missing out on some good media.
Oh yeah.
Missing out on the Addams Family, the Munsters, Three Stooges. There's so much black and white entertainment that I grew up on that's great. It's great for kids.
So I think the Munsters is going to be a skip for me, unless I hear really good things once it comes out. But I don't.
After seeing that,
I'll see it if it's free. You know.
You know what? I can see this ending up like a Peacock or something.
It'll be on Tubi for free.
Now I'm curious. I want to see if the other Munsters is available online. The Brian Fuller Munsters.
Oh, that'd be interesting to see. I can check real quick, but
yeah, it was called Mockingbird Lane, and it came out 10 years ago. Holy shit!
I do. Oh, you know what? I do remember. Was that on ABC? No, it had to be on NBC, right?
I don't know. Oh, it was NBC. NBC, yeah, I just found
it had to be because it's Universal. Mockingbird.
Do you want to watch the trailer for that?
Yeah, we can. Let me pull it up. Maybe
because
it'll make us feel
it's
better.
In color, but it's a way different feel.
It's very toned down, the colors. I remember.
I remember them pulling off like I remember watching the pilot in color, and I liked the enhancements that they had done to the characters, but it was still the family.
Oh,
did you find it?
See. Yeah, hold on. I found one that's only 30 seconds. Maybe that is it.
But Jerry O'Connell played like a weird take on Herman. So
Eddie Izzard's in it.
Yeah, he plays Grandpa.
Oh, okay, cool. There's not a lot. There's only like a 30-second thing. We can watch it though.
Yeah, just to see what the look is because they just do quick intros.
All right, hold on. Let me share that tab. I know the viewers love it when I'm fumbling around with web pages.
Yes.
All right, let's see.
On Friday, October 26th, NBC invites you to an all-new Halloween event.
That's funny. The window sound.
Yeah.
Cover yourself. What will the neighbors think?
The neighbors should be more concerned with what I'm thinking.
For an entirely new experience.
My grandpa's gonna eat you.
Kids.
Mockingbird Lane, the Friday before Halloween.
Yeah, very quick, but all in color. They didn't do Herman in full Frankenstein, but they just gave him scars everywhere. And Lily's kind of toned down, but has like a lot of witch magic and stuff. It's really, Grandpa they're leaning into for the horror.
Yeah, I can see that. Huh. All right. Well, that was all we have for the main topic and all that stuff. Let's move on to our recommendations before we close out the show. Now, Clay, you said you had something you want me to pull up, right?
Yeah, I put a link in there. It's for a YouTube channel that I watch. I love called Froggy Flips. And this week he hits garage sales and buys comics, toys, collectible cards and shit. But he hit a garage sale that when you're thumbing through these comics, you all are just going to be like, holy shit, one after another of Silver Age, Golden Age books. And then if you skip at the end, he tells you what books he pulled out of. This is kind of his format for a show. He will live stream going to not live stream, but he'll record going to a garage sale, leave the garage sale, and compile everything and show what he got, what he paid for, and what it's earning online right now. But yeah, like he goes up to this box at this garage sale, and wait till you see what he thumbs through. And then I put a time at the end to skip to.
In terms of, cover, maybe I might have missed something. I don't know. But I put 30 piece on those.
Okay.
But as a lot, maybe if you bought them all, I was thinking maybe like $400.
So $400.
Okay.
Take a look.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Did you see those books?
Yeah.
The heap. I mean, that's like some Golden Age shit. I mean, these are amazing books. I would never see at a garage sale.
He's trying to keep us cool.
Yeah. So he starts thumbing through them. I put a time stamp in there. I think it's at like 15. If you want to skip to that, he goes through and he pulls out the good books and the bad books. He tells you what he got out of the stack.
Let's see.
And the one big win.
Back here is missing covers, but I saw all these comics and I feel like there was potential there. There was some really interesting looking stuff regardless of condition. And something that some people may not be aware of is even comics without covers can hold value. And there are even some comics like Action Comics number one page can be worth thousands of dollars. So I wasn't really scared of the stack of coverless comics. I just saw that as kind of a little treasure hunt. But anyway, there ended up being about 70 savable comics. I got them all bagged and boarded. There was probably 20 or 25 of them that weren't necessarily worth saving. And then as far as the coverless comics go, we have about 10 that I thought were worth separating and bagging and boarding on their own. Like Mr. Miracle number 4 here. So the way I see it is this stack would be one lot. This stack of incomplete and shredded stuff should be another lot. Both of these should generate a little money on their own. But the most interesting thing in the entire box was this right here. But this is the type of thing that I was hoping to find. This is House of Secrets number 92. This is the first appearance of Swamp Thing from 1971. And as you can see, it only has about half a cover. It does have the complete back cover and it has all the pages. This is one of those comics that in good condition can sell for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. A grail comic, if you will. Obviously, this one is in nowhere near good condition. However, it is complete minus the shredded front cover. A really rough copy with a cover can still sell for like $500, $600, $700. And when I looked on WorthPoint and Terapeak, I see that coverless issues of this comic, they tend to sell for about $275. I think there's one on WorthPoint from 2020 that sold for exactly that. And when I looked on Terapeak, there was one from earlier this year that sold for exactly that. This copy of House of Secrets number 92 should sell for close to $300, which would pay for most of this entire box. So like I said, that's what I was hoping I would find, something like that. And lo and behold, amazing. But there is a solid stack of really neat stuff.
Cool. I mean, I just love his channel, but like that was the first time I had seen Silver and Golden Age comics come up in a garage sale and like be in that good a shape.
Nice. All right. Now let's go to Mark. You want to talk a little bit about your recommendation?
So I started watching The Old Man. I'm watching it. It's a FX show, and I'm watching on Hulu. Amazing cast. You've got Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow in a TV show. Just the great acting, really cool story. I mean, I totally recommend this show.
What's the story?
So it's kind of Jeff Bridges, he's a guy that has been hiding for a ton of years. He had been in the CIA and in Afghanistan, when the Russians were there. And it's cool because they have a young actor playing Jeff Bridges. And Lithgow, I think he's in the FBI. And he's playing himself, and then there's a younger actor playing Lithgow. So it's kind of cool, goes back and forth between maybe 30, 40 years,
Damn.
And it's really, really cool. I love the premise of it. He is being chased by the FBI. Bridges is, and Lithgow. I don't want to say any spoilers, but it's funny because of how their relationship is. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm on, I think, episode 5, and yeah.
How many total episodes?
Well, it's still coming out.
Still going.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think they're at 6 now. I haven't seen 6 yet, but
yeah,
it's an ongoing series. Really cool. I mean, just the acting is spectacular. So yeah, I really recommend it.
I'm in.
Cool.
The Dude.
Oh yeah.
I'll go next because mine's also from FX on Hulu. I want to recommend The Bear.
I've heard good things.
It is. I don't normally binge watch stuff. I watch all this on Friday, like season 1. It's only 8 episodes. They're about 30 minutes each, so it doesn't take a long time to get through it. Also, the episodes are very fast paced, so like as you're watching it, you don't even realize that the episode's almost over. It's about this guy in the middle. His brother passed away and left him his restaurant, so he's like a big time chef, maybe Gordon Ramsay-esque, to bring it back to the beginning of the podcast. But he goes back home and now has to run this restaurant and deal with all the aftermath of like his brother leaving this in kind of shambles. But it's really good. I really like. I like shows about cooking and stuff like that. Movies about restaurants and stuff can get very intense. And it's already been renewed for another season. So I think after all, people really enjoying it. So if you wanna, it is a little bit tense. Like it can get tense. So
because it's kitchen work, right?
Yeah, it's kitchen work, but it's also a lot of family drama, dealing with some other heavy subject matter like addiction and stuff like that. And it's an FX show, so you kind of know also what you're getting into, right? So, but yeah, it's really, really good. And like I said, you can watch it all in about 4 hours. So, highly
that time's perfect.
Yeah. And Kyle, did you have any recommendations?
I got nothing this week.
All right. Well, I will say there are a few movies coming out in VOD pretty soon. Like we talked about, I think Buzz Lightyear's coming soon. Lightyear, if you haven't seen it, I think Disney finally gave up and they're gonna put it on their service now. Also, The Black Phone is out on VOD now. Highly recommend that. And then what was the other thing we were talking about? And if you want to watch another Jurassic Park, Dominion is now also on VOD.
No.
If you're a completionist like me.
I am, and I will, but I'll be bummed out the whole time watching it.
Yeah.
Wait, it's on what now?
I think it's coming to VOD, so it's on you can rent it now. All right. Well, Mark, thanks for joining us. This was a lot of fun. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I did.
And I think whenever we'll invite you back to talk more about movies or other stuff. If you want to talk about something else, with any kind of nerdy shit, we're down for.
You can see me. I'm on Letterboxd at Mark Ramsey on Letterboxd too. So
okay, I'll drop all your socials on the description of the video, and I'll send out a tweet. But definitely go listen to Clay and Mark's podcast on Unsocial Spectators. You guys are doing 1984 next, right?
Yeah, 1984 today.
And
so
I picked out my 1985 film.
Oh, which one?
Better Off Dead.
Oh, of course you picked that. It's a shame throwing away a perfectly good
white boy like
that.
So good.
So yeah, if you guys want more of this conversation in a way more expanded manner, you can go listen to that podcast, and I'll drop all the links in the description of this video. Once it's over, you can watch the replay. But is there anything else you guys had before we head out?
Nope.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't, if you're watching the show. Thanks everyone. We are on our way to 800 so fast. It's moving right along.
Wow.
So we appreciate that. And we'll have more stuff this week. I have some really cool reviews coming up for comics. A bunch of stuff coming out next week. We will have Josh back soon at some point. Maybe not next week. So stay tuned to our socials. But this was a lot of fun. We definitely need to maybe revisit this with a different decade. It feels like the 80s you guys are picking as the best movie decade.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it was more fun at the points we picked. It's really it's become an echo of the 70s when Jaws became big and they realized summer blockbusters were the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what 80s movies became, and now it's almost come full circle that really big blockbusters are the only things that get released in theaters, and you don't have any like serious dramas anymore. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think the 70s is my second favorite decade too. So,
ooh, we could probably just narrow it down to decades and pick a year.
I think it might be cool to do that. Maybe in the future we'll have Mark back. We'll pick a decade. Let's try not to go back past the 70s.
We started at 65, so
yeah, that's okay.
I got to see The Graduate, which I had never seen, which is really weird.
Right. Maybe
to
let
watch
me look
now.
at let me look at the 60s, see what movies are on there.
Yeah, well, it's just you're seeing what the baby boomers grew up with, so that's the interesting takeaway.
The baby boomers, I don't have a lot of confidence in them.
I don't either.
so maybe I don't know about their cinema.
But it's interesting because their media influenced them, but just not as much as Gen Xers. I mean, we honestly were left alone with TV and film and music for most of our growing up life.
And the key around her neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, and I've talked about like how some of the Gen Xers are some of my favorite directors.
I don't even include him as a Gen X director because he doesn't
he's a Gen
tell
X
Gen X. He doesn't tell Gen X stories.
Whatever, he loves it. Anyways,
Kevin Smith is more of a Gen X director than Zack,
which
Snyder.
is interesting. Oh yeah, we'll definitely talk about Clerks 3 when that comes out.
I think we need to go through a whole Clerks or a whole Kevin Smith film.
Yeah, and I did see he talked about it a little bit on this podcast, but. Yeah, you can only watch the movie either on the Fathom events or on the tour. I don't think it's getting a wide release, so we'll probably have to wait till it's out on VOD because I definitely don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah,
I don't really like Fathom events. All right,
and that'll include Tusk, Kyle. So we will watch Tusk if we recap Kevin's filmography.
I got the DVD.
We may invite Mark back for that one since he apparently likes Tusk. I don't know.
Body horror.
There's not a lot of people that can stomach that movie. All right, cool. Well, thanks everyone for watching.
Cronenberg fans love Tusk.
Yeah, they do.
that should be a shirt. That should be a shirt.
Cronenberg fans love Tusk.
Well, thanks everyone. We'll see y'all next time.
All right, thanks.
Later, Gators.
Let's ride.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Peter loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hail Bebo.
Josh, Simon Center, get the fuck out.